All right, hi everyone. Welcome to another casual garden stroll. Sorry for the weird camera angle. I'm trying to, actually maybe we'll go up here. I'm trying to find a spot where I can talk to you a little bit out of the wind because it's super blustery here today. And I need to talk to you about some things that have been happening in the garden before we really start to look around. It's been cold the last 2 nights here. We are protected from these later frosts, generally speaking, because of the lake. So that lake is basically just a moderating feature. Right now, I think it's 42 degrees last time I saw the temperature for it. So where there's a frost 5 miles inland, we are protected from that, which is, the blessing. The not great part is that that's also what makes our spring so slow and everything to wake up, because we just don't get those highs and those lows because we have that moderating temperature. This is driving me nuts. Sorry. So we've been pretty fortunate as far as that part goes. So there's good parts and bad parts, I guess, to that. Okay, something really bad happened in the garden this week. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen it. I actually started making a video about this yesterday, and then I'm like, this is not any good to anyone. This is mostly me just venting. So I'm in a better place now. I will tell you that I had a couple of really rough days there, which is stupid. I mean, before I even get into what happened, let me just say it's just plants. It is a privilege to have your biggest issue at the moment be that something bad happened in your garden, right? Lot worse things could be happening. So a little bit of time helps add some perspective, which it has. So I hired an electrician to put an electric outlet, a couple of them, out by the end of the driveway. And I hired somebody for it to do it like properly and up to code. We have tried running electric before ourselves, not at all up to code, which is, not safe, not great. And also didn't work well because we really hacked that job. So we hired somebody to do that. And the whole job was sort of fraught from the get-go. Digger's Hotline did not mark it properly the first time, so the day he came out to do the job, he couldn't do it. He had to come back the next day after calling Digger's Hotline to come again. So I think he was pretty frustrated from the get-go with the job. And then when he was there the first day, when he was supposed to do the job, I said, could you just draw me a line of where you're going to put this? Because I knew it was going to be going through that garden that runs along the driveway. I said, could you just draw me a line? I'll remove important plants along that line. He said, here's the deal. He said, you just got to worry about the plants that are right on this line. He said, and then he said, like a foot on either side of it. He said, the machine is just going to kind of push the plants away. So you might have to replant some stuff. And I thought, okay, no problem. So I did go through and I took out maybe 10 or so plants that were right in the way there. And then I pointed out to him, I'm like, okay, perennials are tough. Let's avoid trees and shrubs at all costs here. Let's not screw around with trees and shrubs. And then he came Friday morning. Digger's Hotline still had not actually marked things properly. They didn't actually mark the gas line, which could have been very, very, very bad. Fortunately, Mr. Much More Patient was around, and he had a pretty good idea where the gas line was, because we've had it marked a bajillion times before. Also didn't mark the internet line. And the way this is, just to be clear, I know Digger's Hotline works differently in different states. The way it's supposed to work in Wisconsin is that a contractor or homeowner calls and puts in a request, and then Digger's Hotline contacts all of the utilities. So that would be gas, power, and internet, and tells them you got to go flag your stuff. So only one of those came. Only the electric company came. So anyway, to kick off, he cut the internet line twice. Fortunately, our internet provider came out to fix it within hours when the hole was still open. And they said, yeah, it's totally our fault for not coming, so there's no charge. So that was good. So no biggie. But then I went to work, and I did that, you guys, because I have a great deal of, I don't get I don't have anxiety about a lot of things in life, but I get very anxious when people are working on the house or on the property because I overanalyze everything they're doing. And I don't want to be that obnoxious person who's out there going, you're going to fix that, right? Or you're not going to step on that, or you're not going to do that, right? So I like to just I recognize there's a certain amount of damage that happens when people work on your house or your property. And I like to just assume that everything's going to be okay and leave. So I went to work. And when I came home, what I found was heartbreaking. There was a 4-foot swath through that garden that literally looked like a 4-foot wide tornado had gone through the garden. It was nothing. I mean, there was no plants pushed out of the way. There was no plants. I'm like, where did they go? I mean, there was a hydrangea that was completely cut in half. I'm hoping it'll be okay. I mean, whatever, it's a hydrangea, it's not the end of the world. It was a halo though, and those are harder to find. But it was a gut punch. So I didn't deal with that Friday night. And then Saturday, I went and worked on other gardens for most of the day. We had a master gardener project we were doing, and then I went and worked at my mom's garden, helped her with her edging. She's got so many huge beds, and we did not finish up on the edging, but pretty close. And edging just makes it look so much better. So I felt, and they haven't been done for a while, so I felt very good about getting that accomplished. And then I came home and I was in a better place for managing this, although I won't lie, I was really depressed. So just to be clear, part of this was my fault. I should have stayed, and I should have been there, and I should have just plunked plants out of the ground as they were coming through, or said stop, or done something. So my fault. I also recognize that contractors do their job, and some of them are more sensitive to what happens because of it, but I can understand that for a lot of people a garden is just landscaping. You and I know that a garden is, this is the thing that when I think about it, this is what I've come down to. A garden is a very personal space for those of us who are passionate about it. And so I created and designed and planted that space all myself. Countless and countless hours put into it. Excited about it. Unfortunately, a good part of it was the garden I just planted last year. Maybe that's good or maybe that's bad. I don't know. But, and so it's kind of, to me, it's an affront. It's like someone walking into your house and spray painting your living room and being like, well, we had to do that to get this thing done. It feels like that. It just feels like a disrespect of your space. And so I think at the end of the day, that was what was really bugging me, not so much the physical loss of plants and the labor that's going to go into putting this back together again. All of that said, it's over and done, and there's not a gosh darn thing that I can undo about it. So yesterday afternoon, I did go in there, and this is where I started making a video, and then I just stopped because I'm like, there's no video to be had here. But basically what had happened was the soil just got thrown all over the place. So I ended up sticking my shovel in the ground, and if it hit something, I'd try to dig up something. And so I dug up a few plants that way, but for the most part, it's like those plants never existed. I could not find the vast majority of them. I'm assuming they are buried deep under the ground. I'm talking feet under the ground. So I did what I could. I pulled up what I could. My biggest problem is that because that garden was new, I'm gonna have to go back and watch the video actually. I can't actually remember what was where. So I'm gonna actually have to go back and watch my own video where I talk about that garden to figure out what's missing. But there's a lot of replanting to do. Listen, I buy plants better than anybody I know. So I can certainly buy more plants and put them in. Whatever, it's just disappointing because I had to do that and now I have to deal with that. Other projects, like the new garden that I'm supposed to be working on, have been pushed to the wayside, but all in due time, I guess. So that is I'm going to show you that space now, what it looks like after, and I'll put in a little bit of footage. Well, I'll show you some of the before from yesterday, so you get a feel for that. But that happened. So, okay, with that said, let's go on a garden stroll, and I'll show you a little bit of that, but I'll show you the other things that have been going on too. Well, I'm starting on the other steps, so these are the ones that face east this morning. And we'll just talk through a few things. I'm just really talking into my jacket here because I'm really worried about the mic. Because I really had audio problems. Oh boy, you guys. Thank you for watching the greenhouse video if you watched it. I did have to reload the audio from that video off of so the way that the audio works is it records straight to the camera, but it also records a backup track to the microphone, which has saved my bacon more times than you can imagine. And I had to use the backup track, but there was still this really bad reverb off the walls of the greenhouse. It was just bad. And so I tried to fix it, and I did a bunch of stuff. And some people said, hey, you did a good job. And a couple people were like, this is AI. I'm like, oh, I'm pretty sure AI is way better. Because I don't know how to fix audio, you guys. I'm not a professional audio mixer. I don't know what the heck I'm doing with that. I just do my best. I just Google some stuff and do my best, right? So anyway, sorry about that if that bothered you in the video, but I assure you that what ended up in the video was way better than what was originally there. Okay, we're going to talk about this garden space in a video, so I'm not going to go into a bunch of it, but I did share in my everything I planted this year that this tree went in. So this garden space is starting to come to life. The lady's mantle over here is looking really, really good. I'm very happy about that. I am gonna, well, it turns out now I need the Nepeta that's in here for over where we just got destroyed. This is it early bird? Early something? Catnip. Oh, for God's sakes, Nepeta. So that is planted like every, let's say, 6 feet or so in here. But I'm going to swap those out for Lemon Perfection, which is the chartreuse colored one, because I think it'll be a better contrast with the lady's mantle and also look kind of cool because, of course, the lady's mantle has those beautiful chartreuse blooms. So I'm actually going to pull these out. And I'm going to put these over where I just lost a bunch of stuff. And then I also need to divide. There's, for some reason, no lady's mantle right here, so I'm going to just divide. I got plenty here. I'm just going to divide some of the stuff that's there and do that. Unfortunately, the bloodroot is pretty much at its end here. Few little flowers on the edges still, but this will be about the end of it. Such a lovely, lovely little thing. That one does not seed around nearly as much as the single, unfortunately. This climbing hydrangea is really starting to leaf out now, and nice big buds on there. I don't, by the way, one question I get a lot is how do I prune it? And the answer is I don't. I mean, I don't even take those old flowers off. They don't really bother me. I could certainly, but I don't touch it basically. Okay, I remember in a video last year I said, is this the year it gets to the pergola? And it was not, but maybe this is the year it gets to the pergola because we're close. Like that one little guy, that one little shoot right there, he is tantalizingly close to there. So I do love the way this looks going over the wall. I think it really softens this quite a bit. I don't really want it going up to the roof up there though. Well, whatever. That is a problem for like 10 years from now. Okay. Here's some little Solomon seal. This is the dwarf one called Prince Charming popping up. Really cute. This is, I don't know what hosta this is. Enjoy it now. It looks perfect. This one is, I should really pull it out. If it doesn't get eaten by rabbits, it gets absolutely destroyed by slugs, but it looks so good when it first comes out. Let's see what's happening over here. Trying to hit on things that we haven't talked about because a lot of stuff is a little bit repetitive from previous videos now. I still have not done a lot. I've done some cleanup, and Carol has been helping me with that. Carol is this lovely person who helps me in my garden a few hours a week. She's done some cleanup, but I have not. Well, I guess we're here, so we might as well talk about this. All right, so this is where this all started. They went right through a peony. This was one of the Crown Imperial fritillaries that was about to bloom. Look at the size of the bulb though. That bulb has grown so much from when I planted it. Pretty impressed with that. So this, obviously we're going to be doing some replanting in here. Oh, look, it's a tree peony that he just popped out of the ground. Okay, better put that back in. Obviously I need to buy a bunch of stuff to put this in. Fortunately, this garden is planted with pretty simple stuff. It's mostly just repeating the same few things, so just get more of those. All right, the yard is obviously a disaster. We of course expected that, and honestly, you guys know my lawn is kind of stinks anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. I mean, we have to patch the lawn every single year, so it is no big deal to have to repatch the lawn again. And then, okay, here's where the damage starts. See, I did not know we were going to be cutting through this way. All of this right here is that garden I just did last year. So when you originally do the line, here's the original line right here. Here's the line. So that's what I planned on. But no, that's not what we did. We destroyed this whole damn garden. So I have come in here since, and I have popped out a few of the plants that, like, this was the Philipendula back here. I found those buried. And I came in here and I had to add some soil, and I added some biochar as long as I was doing that. It needs a little smoothing out here. And I probably really shouldn't be walking here. We're going to find out if there's some really tough perennials out there that will emerge from being buried. I had the sprinkler out here because I just thought everything needs to be kind of reseeded. This whole path was ripped up. No big deal. I wish we would have just done the whole path the whole way. So I had to re-wood chip this path so it looks extra stupid and fluffy. This whole thing, both of the thalictrums here, I think they're both Ellens, got hammered. I'm hoping that I've unearthed them enough. I mean, they were really buried. In here was a bunch of baby Joe, and I mean, all kinds of stuff. I can't even remember what was in here, so I really have to go back and look at that video so I can replant, because I liked what was there. I know there was some phlox, and oh my gosh, it's so windy. I know there was some phlox and baby Joe in here. So we have to redo that, but look, and it's just like I told you, it looks like a tornado went through. And then up to here, I had fortunately pulled out this Millennia transparent before they came in, so I was able to pop that back in. And then this, of course, is all empty through here. So there's going to be a lot of plants that need to come back. Looking the other way at a much nicer look, the creek is looking so beautiful with the marsh marigolds blooming and all the ligularia is starting to come up. And it's a lot of ligularia, which is fine. So like this area, it's fine. I don't care if this whole area fills in with ligularia, that's fine. But it's really pretty with the purple leaves of the ligularia, that's Desdemona, and the marsh marigolds. It's quite nice looking. The ferns are all starting to come up. I do have to edit the ferns in this area because this is ostrich fern. It's aggressive as heck. So I do have to keep an eye on it. Look, you can see though that the ligularia is all the way up here. So I will have to keep an eye on that, because we could have a whole garden of nice thistle of ligularia in no time. I also need to get going on the deer spray because a lot of the hostas have already been damaged. Look at this cute little primula. Hang in there, little primula. Don't get blown away. All the daffodils and the alliums were lost in that whole thing too. Oh, I did just want to show you. Somebody called these marybells, which is Uvula grandiflora, and that is the common name, and I always forget. Look at how cute they are coming up. So cute. Love those. And then there's some more Solomon seal coming up there. Different variety. That's a taller variety. Starting to see some really nice buds on the hydrangeas here, or leaf buds, starting to leaf. We don't have any leaves on trees yet at all here. Just a little bit inland, they've got all kinds of leaves on trees. Not here. Oh, I did want to check on this. Here is I wanted to make sure that's coming up. That's a really cute little clematis. That's Purpurea recta compacta. Oh my goodness. I hope it's not this windy all day. My gosh. Oh, I meant to tell you guys that maybe I can put this clip up. Look, the May apples are coming up in here. I have planted this too, but you got to be a tough plant to compete with all the May apples. Because those May apples, I mean, they're great. They were here first. They're natives. They're fine. But they will win a battle most of the time. Here's what's left of, gosh, ages ago I planted all pink daffodils under here, and this is really all that's left of them, just a few handful. We put out the oranges because the Orioles should be arriving momentarily, and they've mostly been being eaten by the squirrels. So it's a lot of money to feed the squirrels. Let's just take a look at the woods right now because it's kind of cute too. What was I saying? Something. Oh, when I was working at my parents' house yesterday, you guys, my parents have a nesting pair of bald eagles in their yard, and it was so cool to watch them. And they were chortling, and they were flying back and forth to the nest, and it was so cool. What a cool thing that is. Okay, the woods looks great because that's all the skunk cabbage. So I show you that skunk cabbage flower, and then this is what the leaves look like. Looks so, I mean, gosh, what a difference it makes. I mean, this woods is pretty dire in winter. But the ferns, I mean, listen, ostrich ferns are thugs, but they are pretty cool when they're cool all the time, and they can live here as far as I'm concerned. But look, and then there's a lot of Virginia bluebells that come up in here. So I just think it's so pretty, especially with the sun right now. Virginia bluebells, unfurling ostrich ferns, daffodils through here. Oh, even some marsh marigolds in this low spot that created itself this year. We're not quite sure how that happened. But that's how quickly marsh marigolds took hold. Quite interesting. Huh. So yeah, my neighbor over here just expanded her garden. You can't probably see it, especially not with my finger, but she just, and I'm not going to, it's not mine to show, but you might be able to see from here a little bit. She just expanded her whole garden over there, like doubled it. And she has like really nice, like a really nice fenced in area. She hires people to do stuff, and it looks really nice. Okay, I think that's probably, do we need to pop in the greenhouse? Let's see. I have not opened it for the day. It's a bit messy in here because I was doing some repotting in here. Here's the greenhouse look. Lots of dahlias. One of today's jobs is to organize in here because a lot more stuff is going to be coming in soon. I wanted to plant, look at those pretty pansies I have there. I wanted to plant some containers this weekend, but you know, other things happen, so that's not going to be on the agenda. But yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm going to organize in here. Oh, did you guys catch if you haven't seen it, yesterday I put up a video about everything. Oh no. That's a different video. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm shooting so many videos, I can't even keep track. I'm going to talk to you about this hose in a second here too. I did start shooting a plant unboxing video. I thought you guys might be interested in all this stuff because I have that stuff. Some of that stuff is samples. A lot of it is stuff I ordered. I thought you guys might be interested in that. I don't know when the heck that'll go up. It's going to be kind of slapdash, so we'll see. Okay, the hose. This is something I've learned. So this is a new Evolve hose link. When you get a new, this is probably holds true for any hose reel, by the way. Sometimes they can be a little, like the hose can be a little flat in there because it's been sitting around rolled up. And I don't even know if they put water in them ever or not. I don't know if they like water test them or not. But anyway, pull it all the way out with water in it and let it, make sure there's water in the hose and let it cook in the sun for like a day. And then at the end of the day, or in a hot sun if you've got a lot of sun that day, then empty the hose of water, turn off the spigot, empty the hose of water, and then roll it up. And if you can do one good stretch like that, then I feel like the hose is like ready to roll. Because sometimes they can be like a little weird on the retraction if things are kind of flat in there. That's been my experience anyway. The power cord running across the yard is just a feature of spring here. Okay, I think we're gonna call that it for touring because that was fairly depressing. I am going to put in for you, somebody specifically asked me how the seed snails were doing. The pea seed snail that I showed in that video that I had already done was great, planted that out. One of the two, the one that had the, what was the thing I planted in there? Let's keep looking while I talk so you don't have to just stare in one spot. One of them, I totally put in a different spot and forgot about it, so it dried out. Not the seed snail's fault. The other one with the silene in it is amazing. So I'm gonna show you guys, I'll put a little footage of that up here for you. Absolutely amazing. So big success on two of them. Oh, hey, here's one of those Lemon Perfection Nepidas. So this is what it looks like. So I'm gonna replace the rest of them with that. And then all of these, I'm gonna move out by where that outlet ended up, basically. Onward and upward, new challenges in the garden, always something to do. My big goal, well, I have a lot of goals for today. There's a lot to do here other than not get blown away. One of my goals for today is to fertilize. I bought a whole bunch of fertilizer last week, and I meant to do it last weekend or the week before last, and I never got to it. And we are going to have a little bit of rain, so I'm going to try to quick get the fertilizer down so that that job is done, and then I don't have bags of fertilizer sitting around everywhere. Have a great day in your garden, guys. See you soon.